I am the invisible Tom Watson.
Everybody hears me. Nobody sees me.
Ahoy! Ahoy, Mr. Watson! Will you oblige us with a song?
What is the next big thing? Is it a hot new mobile device? A new fashion trend? A website everyone will belong to? Or perhaps a video game? Whatever it is, it's being invented right now. Right now, the next big thing is out there, getting ready to launch. People are working on research, patents, manufacturing, legal and business stuff, marketing and distribution to get it invented, to get it working, to get it produced, and to get it in the hands of consumers everywhere. But to get all this done, it takes money. The next big thing needs money to go from an idea to something we can actually use. The question is, where does this money come from? It comes from capital markets. Capital markets can be divided into three main areas: people and companies with money who want to invest, companies and funds who need money to be invested, and those who bring those two sides together. Capital markets help to provide money to companies who, in turn, create what we need, use, and enjoy. The next big thing? Capital markets fuel the research and help a company to bring it to market. In doing this, capital markets also build wealth for individual investors, like ourselves. A lot of people work together to make all of this happen. They've chosen careers in capital markets, and there are a lot of careers to choose from. Investment bankers raise money for the next big thing by helping companies and governments issue stock shares, an equity, or bonds, a debt, which are sold to individual investors and companies interested in buying into the next big thing. This is called the primary market. Stocks and bonds issued in the primary market can then be sold to other investors and further traded freely. This is called the secondary market, and it is what happens in stock exchanges, such as the Toronto Stock Exchange or the New York Stock Exchange. It's all about investing to make the next big thing happen, and about building wealth for those who invest. And how do investors know when an investment in the next big thing will be a good one? To answer that question, they turn to economists and research analysts. Economists analyze information about the overall economic outlook, the bigger picture. Research analysts study information about industry sectors and individual companies. They both write reports with their opinions and recommendations. So how does this information get out to the people with money to invest? Institutional salespeople are the link between research and their clients, such as portfolio managers. Salespeople convey trade ideas to their clients and relay orders to the traders, who execute the transaction. Portfolio managers make investment decisions for large pools of money, such as mutual funds, pension funds, and more. And then there are investment advisors who work with their clients to understand their financial goals and advise them on how to invest to meet these goals. Investment advisors put money to work for their clients. There are lots of other careers in capital markets, such as marketing, public relations, information technology, law, accounting, consulting, and many, many more. Ask anyone who works in capital markets, and they'll tell you they love what they do. Their careers are exciting. They're the kind of careers that can make the headlines. It's rewarding on personal, professional, and financial levels. Today, women have made capital markets their own. Let's talk to a few of these women now.
When I first started volunteering for WCM about 7 years ago, I had an opportunity to join an incredible group of energetic women that I had never met before, and they were all my peers across Bay Street, working for different institutional banks, working for different parts of the trading floor and investment banking where I really didn't have a lot of knowledge.
I currently work for a major bank in their dealer's arm, and what I do is in institutional sales for fixed income products.
Fixed income is basically where companies that need money, whether they be governments or companies, and they always need money, whether it's to expand their business, build a new warehouse, or the government to build some more bridges or schools. So they need money. On the other side, there are people who have money. Capital markets is the bringing together of those two sides. So the companies that need the money and the people that have the money. And that is what I did. I structured those kind of deals. I talked to companies that needed the money, and I told them at what interest rate we could get it for them. And then I would turn around and sell it.
These are our larger accounts, the major pension funds, insurance companies, mutual funds that you read in the newspaper. What we deal is in millions of dollars every day.
I work on the money market desk. I trade commercial paper and short-term credit.
My first real job in capital markets was probably at the Federal Reserve in Kansas City.
In high school, I knew I wanted to go into business right from grade 9, so I was pathing towards a BCom.
As an economist, we research trends in the economy, and my role is to look at economic data as it comes in.
Large corporations call my line when they need short-term money, commercial paper.
We have to quickly interpret this data so that traders can make informed decisions about how to trade.
And on the other side of things, investors come to me as well and seek out that paper. So people who need money and people who have money.
When I first entered into my job on Bay Street, it was because I had used the network I had to introduce me to people who could tell me about the capital markets and tell me a little bit about what the different kinds of jobs could offer and where one job could lead to another job and another job, which ultimately frames a career.
You know what? I certainly didn't plan for it. When I was going to university, I had decided I wanted to be a teacher. So everything that I did up to going to university was planning for that ultimate goal.
When I came out of high school, I wanted to be an architect. And that was going to be my career because I really enjoyed mathematics, I enjoyed the numbers crunching, and I thought that that would be a creative career that would combine numbers.
My decision to get into capital markets was definitely not a linear decision. I wasn't the type of girl that when I was in grade 9 knew automatically that I wanted to get into business or into capital markets.
Actually, it definitely was not in my plans to eventually be an investment advisor. I had some inkling that I'd probably do something in business when I was in high school, but I liked science so much that I didn't want to give that up.
When I first landed on Bay Street in a role with a wealth manager as their assistant, I had an opportunity to understand the world really through the eyes of a wealth manager or portfolio manager. That job led me, and admittedly, right time, right place, into a trading floor. And the trading floor opened up my eyes even more, and literally so, because when my first day on the job, I arrived, I was looking at 350 people in one big football stadium size room. And that part of my career was really where things started to take off.
Day to day, my job is covering portfolio managers. So when you invest money into an RSP, that person, the portfolio manager who manages the money, is my client. So my job every day is to come in to the office and decipher the news, whether it's on the commodity side, whether there's been a major news headline overnight or an M&A deal that has come up. My job is to communicate that message to portfolio managers and help advise them on how to invest their funds.
An investment advisor is someone who works with individuals and families. We create a financial plan for our clients and then advise them on the best investments in order to increase their wealth over the long term.
Well, I didn't really know what capital markets were when my father signed me up for the Women in Capital Markets seminar.
I would say that you should go for it. If it's something you're considering and you enjoy learning and you enjoy working hard but also being rewarded for your work and recognized for your work, then I think capital markets is an amazing area to work in.
I do have long hours, but I'm home every night by 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock at the latest. And from that perspective, I'm married, I have 3 kids. I think the important thing is to do your homework.
Each area has a lifetime of jobs that could interest you, challenge you, and reward you. There's credit risk, market risk, compliance, legal, operations, sales and trading. You could spend your entire career in capital markets and still not learn everything there is to learn. It's a great place to go to have a varied career, and we really need more women.
So I went to graduate school abroad. I did business school in Australia. And when I came home, I hit the pavement. I went to hedge funds. I went to asset managers. I just wanted to gather as much information as I could. And I rejoined Women in Capital Markets. I remembered the positive experience I had in high school with this group of women.
I think it's really important that when you choose something to do, whether or not it's in capital market, it really should be driven by passion. If you really love doing something, it becomes a career, not a job, and you'll excel at it.
You can work in capital markets and have balance and have a life, and I don't think a lot of people understand that. And I'd really like to see more young women consider coming into capital markets.
These are a group of women who see themselves in you, and they care about your future because they know that there are certain difficulties in trying to enter the capital markets. These really fast-paced, exciting careers that women can do and women can be really good at.
You have to tune yourself onto the whole entire world. So what happens, as soon as I wake up, I get emails about what happened in Asia, what happened in Europe, what's going to happen in North America.
I can look at stock prices and I can understand what they mean and understand the bigger picture. And the spark was lighted at that original Women in Capital Markets seminar. In high school, you have your whole life ahead of you, and your possibilities really are endless, so I would recommend that you look into this possibility for a career in capital markets. I think that it is the right mix of challenging and fun.
Be confident, ask the questions, look for opportunities. Don't wait for them to come to you.
And that's exactly why we're telling you all of this. We are Women in Capital Markets, and we are dedicated to encouraging the entry, development, and advancement of women in the capital markets industry. We're with you every step of the way. We can show you what you need to know to work in capital markets. And once you're there, we can connect you to the people and resources that will help you advance your career. From mentoring to job shadowing to sharpen your skills luncheons and executive coaching, we can show you firsthand how it all works and how to get where you want to go. Your career in capital markets. That could be the next big thing for you.